Hi everyone, Loving Lexii back this week. Welcome back. I am so happy that you came to join me this week. It's a pretty good week, I'd say so myself. Nothing really grand happened, but nothing bad happened. So that's a good thing all the time. So, question for you. I'm not in my normal element. I mean, last week I wasn't either, but I bet you guys can guess where I am right now. You're right, I'm in the sanctuary, the worship center, whatever you want to call it. I'm at New Covenant, and we're gonna say, what? Lexii, why are you on the stage? What does this have to do with this week? Because I know you're up to something, Loving Lexii. That's right, I'm usually up to something. So this week, I am on the stage because of some things behind me. Can you guys identify some of the things that are behind me? Do you see something that is really loud? A drum kit, right? And what about this thing over here? Do you see it? Might be a little hard. It's kind of smaller and dark. A piano, a keyboard, that's right. And then we see some microphones and some music stands. So I think you're starting to get where I'm going, right? Music. Yeah? I'm sure you guessed it. You guys are smart. There's a reason why I'm up here and showing you guys all of these instruments. Today, we are going to talk about how wonderful Jesus is. So, past couple weeks I've been going over some different things of how Jesus helps people, how he loves people, and how we can follow in his example, right? Well, we're going back a couple weeks. You know how we had the themes of Jesus is different, Jesus is amazing. I can't remember the other ones, but so this week we are going to talk about how Jesus is wonderful. Do you guys know what wonderful means? Is it a good or a bad thing? If someone says, "You're wonderful," what does that mean? Are they saying something bad about you or saying something good? Something good, right? Yeah, wonderful is a very, very good thing. And today we're going to talk about how Jesus is wonderful through sound, hearing. I don't know if you guys know this, but there is a verse, or a couple of verses, there's a story in the Bible where Jesus heals someone who can't hear anything. Do you guys know somebody who can't hear? Maybe it's somebody with hearing aids, or somebody who has a cochlear implant, if some of you know what that is. Or maybe they don't have anything at all. Maybe they're just deaf in one ear, right? Maybe that's what it's called when you can't hear, deaf, right? So Jesus, we're going to talk about how Jesus heals a deaf man. How does he do that? These days we can try to heal that, right? With doctors and surgeries and with the cochlear implants, that's a surgery. And it can help a little bit, but it doesn't totally restore the hearing. So how did Jesus do it? All right, we're going to do something fun. We're going to do a fun activity. Everyone, I want you to do this. Really tight. Are you doing it? Okay, I'm going to say a sentence while you're doing this. And you're going to have to try to guess what I am saying, okay? Ready? So if you didn't, put them back on there. Okay, I'm going to say it one more time. One more time. Put them back. Okay, you can take them off. Did you understand what I said? Did you hear what I said? No, you shouldn't have. Well, we can guess, right? If you were watching me, you could watch my mouth, and you could try to guess what I said, right? We're going to talk about a man in the Bible whose friends brought him to Jesus because he couldn't hear, and he would have to do the exact thing that you just did. He would have to watch people's mouths and try to guess at what they were saying. We call it lip reading. Have you ever heard of that? So he would have to try to guess what they said. And on top of that, so if you can't hear, what do you think that means for how you talk? Do you know? You don't really talk so well, usually. If you're born without being able to hear, usually you're not able to talk so well. That's because when you're a baby, when you're growing up, you hear the sounds that your parents, your family, your sisters, your brothers, your grandparents, anybody that's around you, you hear the sounds and you're able to mimic, you're able to do those sounds back to them. Well, if you're deaf, you can't hear those sounds, so it's really hard to figure out how to say the words that you're looking at. You can make your mouth do the motions, but with your vocal cords, your voice box here, it's hard to figure that whole thing out if you can't hear it, right? So on top of not being able to hear anything, he also couldn't speak very well. Imagine how difficult that is. Can you imagine if you couldn't hear anything? If you couldn't hear music, you could feel the drums if they're loud enough. You could feel the vibrations. I know some people who are hard of hearing or deaf, they can feel the vibrations of the drums or the bass, right? But they can't really hear the piano. They can't hear the drums. They can't hear the voices. They can't hear honking horns. So that could be dangerous, right? If they're walking down the street and a car's trying to get their attention. So it's difficult. It's difficult to communicate and to live without being able to hear. So this man's friends brought him to Jesus to see if Jesus could heal him. And let's read it. I'm going to read it, and we're gonna find out what happened. Okay. So we're gonna go to Mark 7. If you guys want to grab your Bibles, you can pause the video, grab them. I'm sure by now you guys have figured out that you're probably going to need your Bibles every video, so I'm sure you smart cookies have them already. So we're going to go to Mark 7, 31 through 37, okay? Pause it if you need a second to flip to the page, but I'm going to go ahead. If you need help finding the Bible verse to read along, ask someone for your help, all right? That's okay. But I'm going to go in and read, all right? It says, then Jesus left the area around Tyre. Terrible, Lex. Terrible loving Lexii. See, even I don't really know how to pronounce some words. It's okay. We're going to stumble through it together. All right, he went through Sidon to Lake Galilee, to the area of the 10 towns. While he was there, some people brought a man to him. This man was deaf and could not talk. The people begged Jesus to put his hand on the man to heal him. Remember how we did the lesson before where Jesus doesn't necessarily have to lay hands on somebody in order to heal him? Remember when we did the Bible lesson where the boy was far, far away, but Jesus just said, go home, he's healed, and he was. So he doesn't necessarily have to do it, but this time the friends really wanted him to lay his hands on him to heal him. All right, verse 33. Jesus led the man away from the crowd to be alone with him. Jesus put his fingers in the man's ears, boop, and then Jesus spit and touched the man's tongue. I don't know if that would be real acceptable now, especially in the COVID times. I am not recommending that you do this to anybody. Please don't spit on your fingers. It's acceptable when Jesus does it, but not you, because there's illnesses and stuff that we're just be careful, all right? Not very sanitary, but when Jesus does it, it's okay. So, Jesus touched the man's tongue. Jesus looked up to heaven and took a deep breath. He said to the man, a very difficult word that means be opened. When Jesus did this, the man was able to hear. He was also able to use his tongue, and he spoke clearly. Jesus commanded the people not to tell anyone about what happened, but the more he commanded them, the more they told about it. They were really amazed. They said, Jesus does everything well. He makes the deaf hear, and those who can't talk, Jesus makes them able to speak. What? So all Jesus did was pull the man aside. He stuck his fingers in his ears. He stuck his fingers in the man's ears, right? And then he spit on his finger, touched the man's tongue. He looked up to his Father in heaven, and the man was able to hear and speak. Jesus had the power to override everything that this man did in his life, not being able to train and develop his speech like every other person, right? Or most people. Jesus was able to override all of that. And in the touch of an ear and the touch of a tongue, he was able to help the man hear and speak. How wonderful is that? When we go through these Bible stories, are you as amazed as I am with what Jesus can do? It's crazy. It's a good kind of crazy. But just know that anything is possible. Jesus can do it. He did it. We just read something that even doctors today most of the time can't fully correct, right? They can do their best. They can make it so that you can hear a bit. They can amplify the sound. They can, there's all these kinds of procedures, but Jesus was able to fully restore his hearing and give him the ability to talk. He was like, you know what? I'm not just going to heal his hearing. I could just heal his hearing and tell him to figure it out, but nope, I'm Jesus, so I'm going to make it so that he can hear and speak. Mind blown. So from then on, the man could hear music. He could hear the car horns honking. He could worship God in the form of music. There's other ways you can worship God, of course. But in the form of music, now he could hear it. He could participate in it. He could probably sing at that point. Maybe Jesus gave him a beautiful singing voice. I don't know. It doesn't say that in the Bible, but maybe he did. That would be cool, right? Anything that happens, anything you're going through, Jesus can do miracles. That's what these are. These are miracles. Everyone says, I need a miracle. Well, start praying. Start praying. So, the next time you see maybe somebody with hearing aids or something, I want you to remember this story and remember that miracles are possible through Jesus. So this week we have a craft that is going to be available on Sundays. It looks a little different than normal. It's going to be like a cup you're going to draw your hands, put them around the cup, and then you can write down all the good things that you want Jesus to do, all the good things that you're going to pray for. You can put them in the cup, and then maybe once a night pull them out and pray for them. See what happens. I'd love to hear it. All right, I am all set for today. I think I might go sing something, listen to some music. I don't know. Be very, very, very grateful for the things that the Lord has given me, just like I hope you guys are grateful for the things that the Lord has given you. All right, remember to love each other well. I will see you guys next week. And yeah, have a great one until next Sunday. Bye.